All right, it is now 6 o'clock. We're going to begin our meeting. We're glad for all of those that have joined us tonight. On the screen ahead of you right now, you see the mission and vision statement of Jane Addams. We're excited about our mission and our vision. We want to make sure our parents and our faculty and staff understand where we're going, what we're doing, what our goals are. Each student at BCC, with the professional guidance and commitment to excellence from our staff and their homes and the community, we are wanting them to be successful, career-minded individuals prepared for every changing workplace. And this year has been a very challenging workplace for everyone, including your students, because school is their workplace. Our vision at Jane Addams is dedicated to providing all the students with the basic knowledge required to function productively in an information-based technological age. All students will develop skills that will enable them to adapt in an ever-changing society. This year, we are happy to say that our students do have devices in their homes. They are getting internet at current time and are able to access their studies. So we're excited about that. That is part of our vision and mission. On the screen in front of you is our agenda for tonight. All of our links, all of our links are in the website. So please make sure you do look at the Jane Addams website. The same schedule was sent to students and parents through email. So if you need to go back and look at those, I will leave those up in the main session tonight. Academic Achievement Plan. All schools are focused on implementing the gradual release of responsibility framework, which includes the following. Direct explanation and modeling are provided in each one of our classrooms with new concepts and strategies. Guided practice with small groups of students after the concepts have been introduced. And that is why we're talking about asynchronous and synchronous learning. Student collaboration prior to independent practice. And independent study work. Their independent study work can be with the teacher online, or it could be offline as they are working to provide their homework and other projects. Our 2021 priorities: to implement the gradual release of responsibility framework to meet the needs of our students, effectively use a learning management system, and this is our Schoology, to deliver and manage instruction for all students. Develop a meaningful partnership with our parents, guardians, focused on mutual support to ensure that all of our students do succeed through this time. We want to be monitoring our students. We want to make sure that you know what is going on at home. We have interim progress reports that will be mailed to you. This week, they'll be going out on Friday, but every 4.5 to 5 weeks, you will receive a progress report. You can also monitor your scholar's progress in Schoology through the parent portal. You can contact your teachers of your students to receive a 12-digit access code. And you can get that from your teachers at any point, and they'll be glad to make sure they send it to you through email. Student attendance. Remote learning guidelines for the families. One of the most important ways that families and caregivers can partner with all of us at school is to make sure our students are attending through remote learning. We want to make sure that they are there every day for their 4 classes and that they are up to date. Please make sure we have email addresses that we can reach you. We have a phone number in case we need to reach out and give you information, and that all addresses are up to date in our database. I know a couple of times I've heard from parents say they weren't receiving material, and sometimes we find that somehow their address was not updated in our systems. So work with us to make sure that your email, your phone number, and your address are up to date. Continue to call when your student is going to be sick. If you'll call the main office line, that way we know to mark your child as absent and what the reason is. Communicate with teachers when your child is unable to attend the live lessons. But lessons are recorded, so your student does have the opportunity to go back and look at those lessons and do the work that was required that day. Let the teacher or the school team know if you're experiencing difficulties that prevent your child from logging in. We've had different ups and downs this year, and several of my seniors have been wonderful to let me know when something is going on, and we've been able to report it to the district. So please keep that up. Just let us know when there is an issue coming up. Create a routine schedule during school hours to make it easier for your child to learn and study. We don't want their focus pulled away from their studies when they're supposed to be in their classrooms. Explain to your children that both synchronous, which is where teachers are on leading, and then asynchronous is when a student is doing their own work. They could be an independent work. They could be working with groups, but that work is still vital, and that is part of our attendance this year. Say yes to education scholarships for all CMSD scholars. This came into play last year. We were so excited. Our students who are going on to college will be able to get money that will assist them with their tuition. And all of this information will be explained to you by the individual counselors that your children have. And you'll be able to learn more and more about how this money is free to you and your scholar. So please make sure that as your counselors are reaching out, seniors have web pages right now they can reach. And we're going to have more information in the support group tonight. So if you want to step in there and ask them about Say Yes, please do so. That is an exciting program for all of our CMSD scholars. Graduation requirements. There are 2 pathways to graduation depending on your child. Please talk to the guidance counselors tonight. And I know most seniors have already had these meetings, and we'll be having more meetings with our different counselors, and they're excited to talk to you about how graduation will work and what the requirements are. And if you'll notice on the screen, 2021 and 22 have the same requirements. 2023 and beyond, they're a little bit different, so you'll need to ask in which category your student works with. Career and college readiness. 3 ways the PSAT can jumpstart your scholar's journey to college. This year, the 11th graders will take this test, and I think it's scheduled in October. I think it's October 18th. The counselors can correct me if I'm wrong on that. But we want to see where your students are right now for their career and readiness. We want to work with them, especially if they're seniors and they're ready to take the SAT or the ACT. We want to work with them there. So please make sure as you are visiting your school counselor that you ask about the PSAT if you have juniors. These are your 11th grade students. Humanware, social emotional learning. This has been a topic this year of concern because we don't get to see the students up close and personal just on the computer screen. But we want to make sure that they are doing well socially, emotionally, that it's not causing an issue. We know that online learning can sometimes cause issues, but we have 5 SEL competencies. And as most of you know, Ms. Wells works with our students through some of the social emotional issues, but self-awareness, responsible decision-making, building relationships, having those skills to make those relationships strong, social awareness, and self-management. All those areas are vital for our students. And those tonight, you can go to the support room. Ms. Wells will be there and others to give you more information. Along with Applewood, we do have support this year, and they will be glad to speak with you. Some of the programs that we have at the high school level is our Student Advisory Committee, our Now Anti-Bullying Program, WAVE, which talks about conflict mediation, making sure that we can talk students through a conflict and how to solve it. Our Planning Center is there for students who need that moment. Even through remote learning, our Planning Center is available. Student support teams. If we have students that we feel need more support and maybe need some testing in different areas, please make sure the counselor knows this from the parent side, and our teachers are very well aware of how to respond to our student support team. So that is also available. Rapid response, crisis response. If there's something that is urgent, please reach out to us and we'll make sure that our crisis team responds immediately. Class meetings. Most of the teachers are having class meetings at different times during this learning process, and the students will probably talk to you about those class meetings. School-based mental health, we have Applewood on campus, and we have other sources as needed. So please reach out to us if there is an issue. Closing the achievement gap, we are always working with our students to make sure that they are ready for college, aimed for college, whether it be for 2 years or for 4. And we want to make sure that we at the high school level can give them those steps to close any gap that is there. Quality standards, we all work very diligently to make sure our standards are where they are supposed to be with the state. We also have quality standards that are listed in our CTE programs and conditions for learning. This is the survey that our students take that tell us where we have areas that we need to work on to improve. At Jane Addams, we have special education services. This is a continuum of services and support designed for children who are showing some difficulties in their academic performance. While in the district is very, very concerned in our remote learning. They want to make sure that we are delivering the best special education services possible. So please reach out to us if you think there is an issue or if there is something going on that we are not aware of. We want to make sure that your child is receiving all the services that they need to be successful in the academic community. We are still conducting IEPs and ETR meetings. We are also doing those by phone and by Zoom. So if either one of those work for you, please let us know. We will also make other arrangements. If you feel your child may have a disability that has not been tested yet, please let the school psychologist and support team know, or your counselors. We'll be glad to look into that and make sure that we have some support for your child. Project ACT, homeless services. Any family that finds themselves in a transitional period where from one housing unit to another, or they are temporarily in an emergency shelter, we have a program that will work with you and your students to make sure that everything is in place and the resources are there for you. So if you find that this is something that you need, or you know someone who does, please reach out to us and to the district, and Project ACT will work with you and the individuals to make sure that we can accomplish the goals of meeting everything physically, socially, and emotional for our students and their families. Multilingual, multicultural education department. We have an excellent program for any students that are English learners, and we make sure that their academics are up to par and they are learning, that we are focused on their literacy and the proficiencies of listening, speaking, reading, and writing. And this program is in all of our schools, and we'll be glad to work with any family that feels that they need extra support as English learners. Our school receives Title I funding, and this means that this supplies us with some instructional aides, instructional coaches, some additional teachers in our district, technology for students, some of our reading and math programs, and especially our family engagement. This year, our school will be receiving $1,842.33 for family engagement, working with our families to make sure that you are part of the process, you understand where we are and what is going on, and we need your input so that we can improve in our programs. The purpose of Title I is to make sure that parents are involved in the decision-making opportunities. We'd like for you to be part of school-based parent organizations. We also want you to talk with us about advancement with student achievement, what you feel we need to do to help our students engage. We want to make sure two-way communication with parents is strengthened and that we have family and school partnerships. We want to make sure we can remove any barriers that keeps you from being able to work with us, and we will help you to overcome some of those. So if you will let us know your needs, we will work through Title I to assist. You have the right as a parent to know if your child is being taught for 4 weeks or more without a teacher that is qualified. You will also be told if there is a licensing criteria for the grade level, or if the teacher's having to teach out of their field at any time. You will also be told about disciplines. You also have the right to ask questions about any of the materials that are being given to your students, as well as understanding which paraprofessionals and everyone else that is working with your child. So those questions I'll be glad to answer, and the teachers that are involved working with your students would also be glad to answer at any point. But as a parent, you have the right to understand what's going on, who's teaching, and who's working with your students. You can support us through our school parent organization, through our advisory committees with the district as well as the building. As we work on academic achievement plans every year, we ask for parent volunteers. You're more than welcome to step up and help us. We would look forward to that. We want you to support your child's learning in every way possible. We want you participating in any family activities that we have. And as you know, as we move forward, there'll be more and more as we open the buildings, hopefully back up in the next few weeks. And there's the parent university workshops that are offering a variety of different topics. So you are more than welcome to take advantage of those. And at the bottom of the screen right now, Office of Family and Community Engagement, their phone number is there. And you can just call the main number for the district, or you can call Jane Addams and we'll be glad to give you that information if you'd like to know more about those workshops and offerings. Customer Experience Department. This is what we talk about with heart. And this is where we want to be able to listen, to inform, to provide resources for you. And we want to make sure that we're doing it in a friendly manner. We want to make sure if something is happening that is not up to par or you feel the customer service to you was not what you needed, just need to let us know. And we will begin to work to resolve that issue and improve in that area. We're committed to making sure that students and parents are comfortable and that they are getting the best information possible with the best resources to support that. That 24-hour message line is available to you. It's at the bottom of your screen currently, 216-838-0090. That's our Ombudsman's office, and they'll be glad to assist you if you have not gotten resolved at your building levels. So any information you need, if you feel you are not getting it, please step forward and we will be glad to assist you. Our open house schedule tonight can be found on the Jane Addams website. And as we stated earlier, it was sent to our students as well as to the parents with email addresses that were on file. And each department will be meeting together tonight. The English department, as you can see on the screen, will begin in just a few minutes. They will open up their meeting and be ready to greet you. But they are in a Zoom conference, and if you want to meet with your students, teachers, that is great. They will talk to you about attendance. They'll talk to you about assignments, recordings, and they'll talk to you about how things are set up consistently across their subject areas. Then 20 minutes later, the teachers will remind you to go to your second session. This way you get to see the second teacher that your student has. You could go to science and history or math department, or you could go back to English after you've been in science and history or math. So on the screen right now, you can see the meeting ID and the passcodes for those Zoom meetings. Please, once again, remember those are on our Jane Addams website, as well as in emails. It is followed by PE, CTE, and Spanish. Our self-contained classes will be meeting. Our support team will be open for the full evening. They have one Zoom meeting that will stay open from the time this meeting concludes until 8 o'clock. They will be able to answer questions about graduation, especially for our seniors, about PSAT for our juniors, and any other subject you need to bring up to them. Ms. Powell will be part of that conversation. She will be setting up mock interviews very shortly. She's going to be working with how do you interview through a virtual setting. All of this is going to be exciting for our seniors because this is the new way to interview. College Now will be present in that support team, so please feel free to step in there. Also social emotional with Ms. Wells, PCIA. And then there's a transition time, and then we will start our third session for you to go to the third class your student has. All of these, once again, are on the website for Jane Addams, and I will leave them up here as well. I will leave this open for those who would like to ask questions or put it in the chat. Please make sure if you have questions, put them in the chat, and we will respond to those. Thank you so much, Ms. Krall, for assisting me tonight with chat as well as with admitting. We thank you for registering for being in our sessions tonight. Thank you so much for being part of our opening session. We will start our second session at 6:35. It gives you time to kind of take a deep breath, get something to drink carefully, and enjoy going from class to class, just like your students do every day. Ms. Krall, were there any questions in chat that we needed to address? All right, great. So thank you so much. This will conclude our opening session, And I will see all of you in your different sessions as we move forward at 6:35. Thank you very much.